So you want to build a better relationship with your daughter? I can tell you right now, they've already taken the first and most important step, is asking the best question possible. Stay tuned. I'm going to walk you through my tips with my 4 daughters, how we build great relationships. I am so passionate about this topic. I've got 4 amazing daughters and 1 amazing son, and a lot of these things will cross over, but I want to talk specifically, it's you and me here. We're going to talk about the relationship between our daughters. Not enough can be said about how everyone talks about how the media is degrading and tearing women down specifically. You'll hear about the feminist movement, and there's so many different messages that you're going to get bombarded with, and so many different messages that your teen girls or younger or older are going to be bombarded with. So these rules that I'm going to give you, they cross all the age barriers, and I hope you're doing it at every age, whether you have a brand new baby or you have a full-grown adult woman that is your daughter. These relationships are so important, and as women, we need these bonds. We need these connections. We need to know that we have that foundational piece, so when the storms come and it gets really rough, you've got that baseline of this amazing relationship with your daughter. So let me just walk you through some of the key pieces and key elements that I use in building my relationship with my daughters. Probably the best tool that I have is the individual one-on-one date night time that I set aside with each one of my kids. The oldest child gets Monday night, the second one gets Tuesday night, the third one, and so on. And we just rotate through, and each one of those kids gets an extra half hour with me every single time. That means we are talking, we are connecting, maybe sometimes we'll watch a movie together. My favorite thing to do on those one-on-one date nights is to go on a walk together, whether it's freezing cold, which honestly isn't my favorite, but it's so worth it, or whether it's in the middle of the day, or whether it's a sunset hike. Whatever it happens to be, there's something that happens psychologically in the brain when you're going on a walk and you're distracted, or you're not distracted, you're not looking at your phones, you're not looking at screens or devices. When your brain has that synchronicity between your left and the right side of your brain, when you're walking, it allows the 2 halves of your brain to communicate and talk to each other. They're in that mode of balancing your body. And when you're talking to someone, when you're going on a walk and talking to someone, you also have that backing you up, which means whatever they're sharing with you is being worked on in both sides of your brain, the creative and the logistical side, okay? It's really a beautiful place and a neutral territory for you to be together. I don't care if the walk is 5 minutes, I don't care if it's a half an hour or longer, but going on a walk or spending some kind of date time with your daughter is going to build that relationship. Start early. If you've got a brand new baby, start with that habit of taking that baby out on a walk or spending some quality time with that brand new child so that you can get in the habit of it. So by the time they're 13, it's already built into your schedule and it's already something that they're used to and that you do on a regular basis. You've probably heard this everywhere, and I'm gonna say it again because it's worth saying. Limit the amount of screen time that your daughter has on a regular basis. And it's not just because a screen is gonna melt their mind, it's not just because a screen is gonna damage their eyesight, it's not just because of all of the physiological effects, but think about the messages that they're getting from the content, okay? They're getting messages from mixed content, mixed reviews, and so they're going to have mixed messages about themselves. If you want your daughters to have a good, positive self-image, it's not going to come from mixed messages on a screen. It's going to come from you reaffirming that to them. It's going to come from them being surrounded by supportive peer groups and supportive adult groups and supportive every group that they're a part of. So if you limit the screen time in which that can be influenced, then you have more influence over that time with your daughter. Another important element to building a great relationship with your daughter is to understand their personality. Now, I'm going to recommend a book to you by the author Carol Tuttle, and this book is all about identifying your child's personality type, and there's a link to it in the comments. It's called The Child Whisperer. Now, this book was a game changer for me as a parent. Parenting 5 kids with 5 different personalities. I mean, if there's anything that comes close to a baby coming with a manual, this is it, okay? This Child Whisperer is going to help you identify what things are coming up in your child's personality that are just part of who they are, and you can celebrate them rather than being annoyed by them, okay? So I'll give you an example. my oldest daughter does not fit within the mold of your typical school system. She's not motivated by good grades. She's not motivated by the standardized testing. She's motivated by being creative. And before I knew about this personality type, not a flaw, just a type, a personality type, I would get frustrated with her about her grades because she didn't think they were important. Now I've discovered that she has a creative side, okay? She has an idea side. She's got the cogs constantly turning in her brain and formulating, and she's an artist. That's what she loves. So now that I know that about her, I can say, how can we make this fun? Fun is important to you. I totally get that. Fun is important to you. This thing still needs to be done, but how can we make it fun? How can we make it cheerful and exciting for you? So instead of seeing all of these different personalities as personality flaws just because they don't match yours, that's actually hurting you. Okay? Seeing things as personality flaws because they don't match your personality hurts your relationship with your child. Understand their personality, not correct the personality. Understand it. Get to know what elements are key to them and important to them. And that way when tasks need to get done, or jobs need to get done, or fun needs to get done, or bonding needs to get done, you know how to approach it with your child in a way that they understand it. Along with their personality, the child is going to have a love language. Your daughter has a love language that is unique to her. Now, and when I say love language that's unique to her, I'm talking about a combination of love languages. There's another book I want you to read. It's called The 5 Love Languages for Kids by Gary Chapman. There's a link to it in the comments. This is going to talk about how people need to feel loved. There's 5 primary ways that people need to feel loved that are outlined in the book. Now, each one of us has a desire for all 5 of those buckets to be filled. Right? But we may lead out with a primary love language. Maybe you lead out with a primary love language of gifts, and that's how you understand love. Maybe you lead out with a primary love language of quality time, and that's how you understand love the best. And maybe your secondary is gifts. Once you understand the combination for your daughter, you can express love to her and even use a term that I've become familiar with called leverage. Maybe quality time gives her 90% of her love filled to the top. If you spend 5 minutes of quality time with her, she will fill 90% of her bucket. And then you need to fill the other 10% with words of affirmation or maybe a gift, okay? Maybe that combination doesn't work for your other daughter. Maybe spending 5 minutes of quality time will only fill 5% of her bucket. Knowing that primary love language is really important. It's going to help you connect with your daughter at a deeper level. Last but not least, celebrate their successes, especially when it comes time to make a correction. There's a phrase that I've heard over and over, and it's called connect before you correct, okay? Yes, corrections need to be made. Yes, in order to be a good parent, you need to help guide them down the path that you feel like is the best for them and allow them to make mistakes and decisions along the way. But you need to be their parent, okay? Sometimes you can play the part of best friend, but that's not your job. Your job is to be their parent. And part of your job as your daughter's parent is to celebrate her successes, celebrate what she does well. And when I say that, I'm not talking about generic things. If your daughter comes to you with a picture, you don't just say, oh, that's a pretty picture, or you did such a good job, or you are a good girl. No. Look at the success of it. Say, I love how you use these color shapes here. I love how you formulated this texture in here. I love how you did all of whatever. Use specific things. Share with your daughter the successes that you like, that you're proud of. Take a moment to notice them and celebrate all the successes, both big and small, because every single one will make a difference. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. Now go out there and do something fun with your girls, okay? Before you leave though, hit the subscribe button so I can send you my next video tomorrow. I'll see you then.